Alright, we are going to move on to the next example, which is example 6. It's also on midpoint theorem itself. Okay, if you take a look at the question, I think the choices are very clear. Alright, there is P, Q, R, and S being the midpoints of AB, AC, OC, and OB respectively. Okay, because of the use of the midpoint, you must understand that most likely you are going to make use of the midpoint theorem. Okay? And in order for us to make use of the midpoint theorem, you need to make sure you write out the two conclusions or the two results that could derive from the midpoint theorem itself. At this moment, you may not be able to know that PQRS is a parallelogram, but probably after the use of the midpoint theorem, we can conclude that there must be a pair of parallel lines. And if the pair of parallel lines is actually equal to one another, we are for certain it's a parallelogram. So let us get started. Okay, so let us take a look at the bigger triangle first. Okay, let us take a look at this triangle. Notice in triangle ABC and the smaller triangle APQ. Alright, P and Q are midpoints of AB and AC. Please tell me the two conclusions you can make. First conclusion, alright, for sure, PQ is going to be parallel to BC. And remember, the second result you can tell me is the length of the shorter parallel line is equal to half the length of the longer parallel line. Very good. That is the first midpoint theorem that you can make use of. So please tell yourself, in bracket, this is the use of the midpoint theorem. I'm quite certain these are not the only two midpoints given to you. Let us take a look at another one. Okay, there is a smaller triangle that we can look at. Triangle OBC versus triangle OSR. Same thing, we're going to write in the same format. Alright, notice S and R are midpoints of the length OB and OC respectively. Okay, I noticed an error on top. Please remember to write the word respectively. Now, please tell me what are your conclusions. Say as per normal, the first thing is you are to conclude that the two lines are parallel, as well as the shorter parallel line is equal to half the length of the longer parallel line. Now, there is something very interesting down here which I'm going to show you. Why? Notice. Do you notice both your PQ and your BR are both equal to half BC? Very good. Please write that out. PQ is equal to BR. SR, I'm sorry. PQ is equal to your SR. Alright? So, for certain, this length and this length are equal. Not only are they equal, what do you notice over on this side? Since PQ is parallel to BC, and also SR is also parallel to BC. So in this case, we can conclude that your PQ is actually parallel to your SR. Since they are of the same length, they are also parallel. Therefore, PQRS is a parallelogram. Alright, this is one useful property of a parallelogram, hence proven. Alright, the next part will be pretty straightforward. Why do I say so? Hence, if this is a parallelogram, we need to make use of the fact of the properties of a parallelogram to prove our next part because of the word hence. Show that OS is equal to 1/3 of BQ. OS is equal to 1/3 of BQ, which is the long line over here. On first glance, it seems difficult. But if you have remembered what we have done for A math, which I'm going to outline now for you. If you remember, the diagonals of a parallelogram will meet at the midpoint over here. Agree? And if they meet at the midpoint, it means that OQ must be equal to OS. And in the previous encounter, stated in the question, okay, S is the midpoint of OB itself. Do you realize we more or less have conceptualized what we need to do for the last part? Okay, let me pen that down in working. Okay, O is midpoint of diagonals PR and SQ. Next, therefore, OS must be equal to OQ. Okay, let OS equal to OQ be the length M. In this case, S is also the midpoint of OB. Since if S is the midpoint of OB, OS must be equal to SB, and in this case must be equal to M as well. Okay, we are making use of the method of denoting the unknown, so it's easier for me to present my working. Then your choice is as clear as mine. What is the length of BQ now? BQ is equal to 3M, whereas OS is equal to M. So therefore, OS is equal to 1/3 of BQ. Shown.